It's where, like, real life is imitating art. Is one pump allowed? I think one pump actually is allowed. Like, off the Pey Keele skit, right?
Yeah.
But, like, I believe it is allowed. Like, it's truly one pump is allowed. Oh, yeah, that's up. Yo, it's Chris Simms. It's Chris Simms Unbuttoned. We're two chumps. We are allowed to do one pump. We're here for that. Just once. We're two chumps. Two pump chumps right here. That's
Pey and Keele.
Yeah. Or, Pey and Keele, which that was
good.
the first time I heard that right there.
Yep.
And thank you for Salacious Crumb 680 calling me out on that. I appreciate that. Please always call me out on the stuff I say. That's what I'm famous for. I do it all the time. So my bad on that one. But, yeah, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man.
Big chillin', man. We got a fun one today. Film review, Rams offense, Lions offense, deep dive on motion. Of course, we start the preview already for Week 11 with what's more likely.
Here we go, right. And it's so funny because, like, we talk about this and, like, what's more likely. Like, I've barely – and what's cool about it, because it's really the first time all week I think about next week's games.
Same.
Right? I mean, Monday and Tuesday are days where I'm still looking back. I'm trying to figure out what happened. I'm trying to watch film and do all that to where – yeah, you get into Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday a little bit. I start to go, oh, wait, who are they playing this week? And start to look a little bit here.
This is the first day that I start to look at the opening lines. On Fantasy Happy Hour, we have to pick one game already on Tuesday.
I got you.
It's an early line.
Right.
So I took the Dolphins as 2.5-point favorites over the Commanders without even remembering. Not that it's fine. I'm still sticking with it.
Yeah.
It's in Madrid.
Yeah.
That game.
Right.
But my thought was, and it's probably sitting next to you for 9 hours a week, there's no shot in hell I could see that defense stopping Mike McDaniel.
I don't think so either.
I don't care if the game was on Mars.
I wouldn't see that. And the way Miami's defense has played lately,
that reinforces it.
Yeah, I would think. And
just
again,
2.5 points.
The Commanders are not scary in the pass game, so they'll be okay that way. And I don't think you can just line up and expect to run the ball on the Miami Dolphins right now. So I like where your head's at there.
But yeah, it is truly the first time of the week that we jump into the next games. But before we do that, we still have some Week 10 stuff to go through. Chris's film review. Matthew Stafford and the Rams just bullying the 49ers defense.
Right.
Anything different? Because these are two coaches that know each other as well as anyone, where I don't think you can walk out and do the same thing every time against each other.
No, you can't. And that's why their games are crazy. That's why you'll see one game where you go, wow, it's a defensive struggle and offense is hard to score. And then there's the adjustment the next time they play where they're like, wait, they did this and this to us. We're crazy psychos. We're going to go back into the lab and see how we can expose that. And so it's an awesome matchup because Shanahan and McVay, of course, are two of the best play callers in the game. They're two of the best head coaches in the game. Overall, everything they're involved in is amazing. They have a good relationship, and there's a good competitive rivalry there, right? It's one where it's competitive. They go back. There's history. They're buddies. But it's also like, hey, this guy this week. How dare he does, right? And Shanahan's had his way with McVay throughout his whole tenure there.
He's kind of his kryptonite.
He's his kryptonite, except in the one game that Shanahan would probably go, I'd give away 5 or 6 if I could have just beat him in the NFC Championship game and gone to the Super Bowl, right? And McVay, of course, has the Super Bowl win. And Shanahan's been there twice and hasn't gotten that, right? And Shanahan's like, wait, I taught McVay a lot. How dare he get a Super Bowl before I do, right? So there's all of that there that plays into that. But at the end of the day, and just right away, I mean, the 49ers are maybe a playoff football team, right?
Which is kind of amazing.
Right, exactly. That's where because sometimes people are like, well, you don't think they're in the Super Bowl window? And I'm like, what, you do? You're crazy. They told you they're rebuilding in the offseason. What are you? They can't say it anymore. Their coaching's awesome. They still play hard as hell, but they're not in the same class as the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams could be hoisting the trophy this year. The 49ers are a team where you just go, wow, if they get in the playoffs, that's a big deal for them where they are this year. So it's two different classes of football team in my eyes right now. And the Rams are going like this in the process of doing this right now, going, we're starting to play our best football when we should be playing our best football, and we're better than you, San Francisco.
And the Niners have already lost the war of attrition.
Right.
I don't think there's a team in the NFL that's taken a bigger L on injuries than the Niners.
I agreed.
Their top 15 pick at edge rusher, out for the year.
Yeah.
Their superstar who's paid $1 gazillion at edge rusher,
right.
Bosa, out for the year. Fred Warner, best linebacker in football.
Right.
Done.
Right.
I mean, don't even get into the wide receivers.
Juwan
Jennings is out there on one leg.
Right.
Every week.
Exactly. Center was out. They've had it all. Right. Exactly.
So
no Brandon Ayuk. Yeah. I mean,
right.
You name it. They've had issues there. So they're not in the class with the Rams. But the big thing here, and I think if we just get into the film right away, one, the Rams have so many cool plays. 2, And this is where I need you to back me up because I don't even know how to work what the numbers work on any of these sites or how to do that.
I'm the human computer here for you.
But when I looked at it and you saw my notes, I went, first off, the Rams came out firing. Like, wow. Like, the first pass of the game was like, we're looking for 25 or 30 right away. It wasn't like, hey, we're just going to get a completion and feel good about ourselves. It's like they came out, it was motion, and they were like, we're attacking down the field. And so that was the other thing that jumps out. And then off of that, right, I felt like, man, watching it, I was like, it seems like the Rams are shifting and motioning more than they usually do. And I know they do it a decent amount always, but like when I'm watching the film, I'm going, every play, they're coming to the line of scrimmage. I'm going, oh, they shifted to this. Okay, now this guy went in motion. He's set, and somebody else went in motion. I was just like, it seems like they're doing more than usual. And I felt like also off of that, a lot of tight, condensed, bunch-like sets, right, that are good for the run game, and then also I think have purpose to defeat the 49ers and how they cover in the pass game off of that. So I think those right off the bat were some of the few things that really jumped off at me, right? Those condensed sets, the pre-snap motions, the motions in general, and playing 3 tight ends. I think those were the baseline that I was like, wow, that seems a little different from the Rams than what I'm used to seeing on a regular basis.
And the concrete numbers back up everything you're seeing, Chris.
Okay.
So this is a team, they're top 10 in motion to begin with in the NFL.
Right.
But this game specifically, 39 of their 68 offensive snaps, they ran pre-snap motion.
Almost half the damn game.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the second aspect with the 3 tight end sets, they've run 97 plays with 3 tight end sets this year. That's second in the NFL. They're averaging over 5 yards a play in 3 tight end sets. This game, though, 30 plays. 30 plays with 3 tight ends on the field. The next highest team, for context, in the week ran 17. So they're almost doubling.
It's incredible.
What the next high. And the most important part, because who the hell gives a shit what you're running if it's not working? Well, they're averaging 7 yards per play on those 30 plays with 3 tight ends.
That's amazing. They love their tight ends. I know. They love their tight ends, right? I've been led to believe that for quite some time from them a little bit. And then I think on top of that, not only do they love the tight ends, they're pretty versatile, all of them, right? They are. I mean, when you get into, of course, Tyler Higbee, Davis Allen, and Colby Parkinson, they all can block pretty well. They all can run pretty well. And then we got the rookie from Oregon,
Terrence Ferguson,
who is the most athletic of the group, and they're continuing to put more and more on his plate in the pass game. So, yeah, I think they see that. And then with Puka being banged up, I think it's also a little way to like, hey, let's let him off the field and just let him a little break, and we'll have Devontae Adams in, Kyron Williams, and the 3 tight ends, right? And we can still pose a lot of problems for people. I think with all of that, that's the beauty in that. And I think with this one especially, they go, wait, the 49ers, they've been blitzing a lot lately because you just mentioned it. Pass rushers are hurt and all that. So the way they have to get pressure is blitz. But, man, they're going to think twice about blitzing if we have 3 tight ends on the field because, like we always talk about, you overdo some crazy creative blitz and they have the right run call, and it's like, well, you don't have enough bodies over here because you blitzed everybody over there. So that always simplifies people that way, okay? And within that, yes, the big bodies and everything there, the 49ers, with some of their injuries, they're not a real big defensive team right now. They pushed the 49ers around in the run game. Like, I don't remember seeing. Like, I know they didn't break any big, long runs, but, like, almost every run was, like, 5 yards, 6 yards, 5. And, like, the D-line of the 49ers was going backwards. And some of the touchdown runs they had, like, if they weren't on the goal line, they would have gone for 50. They got a little unlucky that the sea parted on those plays right there where you would have gone, oh, they would have rushed for 200 yards on the day if that was in the middle of the field, right? So there's a little of all of that. But, yeah, super impressed with the aggressive nature, attacking down the field. I mean, play action galore from them always, right? I mean, they run play action even when they're not running the ball well. So I still love that. And, yeah, between all the movement and creativity and aggressiveness, I just thought, man, it was one of the best games the Rams offense looked all year.
Before we jump into the play action, I want to ask you a question about motion for this game specifically. With all the reserves the Niners are playing, what kind of pressure does that put on players that are honestly just trying to get their feet under them.
I think that's probably a big reason of why they did it too. I think you're spot on.
A lot of eye candy.
A lot of eye candy, a lot of testing communication with guys that are new at their spots and not totally, hitting on all cylinders and communicating with everybody and getting everybody in the right defense. So I think there's a lot of that right there. Right? And yeah, the beauty of shifting and motioning a lot of the times is one, it gives your quarterback some clues. Two, it doesn't let the defense just hunker in because, again, defensive players all week have been, hey, when they're in this formation, they do this. When they're in this formation, they do this. So you're kind of, as soon as you see them in that formation, your brain starts to go there. And then even in those formations, a lot of the times you've seen them so many times during the year from other teams, your own offense, you have a bunch of things going through your head anyways. Hey, teams like to do this. Teams like to do, our offense does this, right? We all have the same plays. So, all that checklist is there in your brain. But when somebody goes, okay, wait, they're about to run these plays. They always do this. Oh, wait, they shifted this formation. Okay, they like to, oh, my gosh, they're motioning to somebody else. Hey, check it. Hey, check. And all of a sudden, it's like a fire drill, right?
Yeah.
And it's like.
Before the ball
and you hope everybody did the right thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you shift in motion. It does give yourself an advantage. But more than times than not, if a team tries to be creative, they change defenses like a total different coverage. If there's 3 receivers to one side and now it becomes 2 and 2, it's like, no, we want to call a totally different coverage on the back end. And, guys mess things up in the heat of the moment with all of a sudden they forget when Puka Nacua is flying across the line of scrimmage and they're across the line of scrimmage and they're like, oh, wait, I was playing man-to-man before. Oh, no, wait, the rules now are to go, check cover 3, and I don't know if I'm going to get in position in time as Puka's running at me, and I think all of that is why you motion and do that right there.
So I think fans hear that, and they see motion rates, and they go, this is great. Right. Kyle Shanahan uses it as much as anyone in the league. Sean McVay uses it as much as anyone in the league. I want my team to do that. Yeah. What are the downsides of motion, or maybe reasons why it's not as just use motion and you'll be great? I don't think it's that simple.
No, not everybody's capable of it. It's a lot of coaching motions, right? It's coaching. There's important coaching points. There's certain plays that you want to run with the motion. There's certain ones where you go, I don't want to run this with motion here because now my receiver is going to be on the move and he can't maybe attack up the field as aggressively right away because his momentum for the motion takes him a few steps to regather himself and get up the field. There's the biggest thing is the motions, and then not just to run motions for emotions, but to have like real rhyme and reason to why you do it, right? And I think that's why you're seeing who are the teams you talked about that are the top motion teams?
Typically, you get the
Rams, Niners, Dolphins, right?
Yeah, I'll pull back up.
I bet you the Bears are probably. Ben Johnson is up there, right?
Yep.
Because they know what they're attacking and they know if they motion certain things that it's going to attack a rule that's going to mess up their defense. And I think that's the big reason. Where there's other teams that motion and do all this stuff and it's like, yeah, they just did it, but they don't really have a reason. They're just hoping maybe you messed up some communication. Where more times than not, like a McDaniel, hey, we shift this guy here, we motion this guy here. It's all we know when we do that, we're going to get this coverage, and now we're going to open it up with the motion and sit somebody inside of it and sit them there, right? And I think that's what it's not easy to coach. It's sometimes not easy on the quarterback. Of course, it's a lot of stuff at the line of scrimmage when we know the play clock's a real thing in the NFL, right? So you got to get that all orchestrated.
Do you worry about false starts?
You worry about false starts. You worry if you have some young guys on your own side that you go, wait, are they going to remember the shift and what the play was now and they're in the new formation and everything that way, right? There's times, too, where you go, wait, I want to call 2 plays in the huddle here, and if we shift in motion a lot, I think it's just too much on our players, right? There's also the aspect of like, hey, at times I don't want to motion because I just like to see a clean, clear picture. They're doing some crazy stuff on defense that's catching us by surprise, and the motion is not allowing us to see it all develop a little bit, and they're kind of blitzing us right as the motion goes or whatever. Oh, man, they're getting us today. Let's start to be static so our quarterback can kind of call it out and figure it out the right way. Or you know what they're starting to do, and then you can attack it with some certain motion as well. But, yeah, I think the big thing is just like anybody always says is like, why isn't my defense creative like that? This is why they're a special coach, because they can coach and call the right plays and get everybody to understand the motions and still execute the plays in the game at a high level. And not all coaches can orchestrate it to that capacity, and that's why the list you talk about is a lot of the top offensive minds in the sport that are doing it.
The Colts are another one in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
I think and no surprise, Jacksonville's 7th. This is total plays with motion.
Liam Cohen, of course, right.
The two that you might not get if you had to guess, but when you really think about, where they're from,
right.
The Saints and Falcons.
Yeah, okay.
But that's when you think about where those coaches come from, coaching trees-wise, it's not surprising. It's just the lack of effectiveness all the time.
Yes, the Saints is a little surprising to me. You're right. I wouldn't have said that. The Falcons, I can get it. And what I would say with those two teams, just off the top of my head, it's basic stuff.
Right.
It's like the tight end was on the left and he shifted to the right. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, all right, there's some value in that, but whoop-de-doo. And I think when you talk about Ben Johnson, right, LaFleur when he's in a groove, Shanahan, McVay, those type of guys, right, they're looking to do, hey, we shifted the tight end, we shifted the back, and now we have a motion go right away, right off of it, and like totally getting a completely different formation right away. It was a little more advanced, I feel like, most of the teams you said there as compared to Atlanta and New Orleans.
And it's not a surprise, just based on EPA per play, expected points, basically just a metric saying success. The teams that are the best or have the most success while using pre-snap motion are the Colts, Chiefs, and Rams.
Yeah. Right.
Which,
I'm not shocked by that.
That's the eye test would tell you the same.
That's the eye test. And again, Andy Reid has always been extremely creative in doing that stuff as well. But yeah, I think that's the big reason in which you do it. And here with this game, right, when I talked about like a lot of motion, a lot of tight, condensed, bunch-like sets, right? One, I think for the run game and do that. Two, the other thing it does is I think they took the approach. The 49ers are so amazing at their zones. Salah's so good at 3-on-2 zone or 2-on-1 or 4-on-3, right? And it's like, man, every way we turn, they got a guy. And even if we crisscross them, they pass it off perfect.
Yes,
like, what do we do?
Communication's great.
So see if I can explain this the right way, because it's tough for me here. But just say, right, you got a bunch condensed set here. What they did was, bunch condensed sets. Now it brings their zone a little bit more condensed. We say set hut, Now the guys come off the ball and they kind of expand out of that bench. Well, out of that bunch, that close set, right? Now, what does that do to the zone behind it? They start to go, wait, this guy's going on like a wheel route. I gotta get out there and spread out. Oh, wait, this guy over here is running the post route down the middle. Oh, I gotta get out there and spread out. And then they had another guy kind of go and sit in the middle or cross the formation and sit there where they spread it out, right? I think that was their reasoning for a lot of the condensed sets, let alone I think they saw it as, it can simplify their blitz a little bit, and I think we can just run the ball down their throat with some of these big guys too.
Just the traffic that creates for DBs, once again, and also sometimes reserve DBs is hard, especially if a young player doesn't press the point against the front man.
Right. Or they cross and you're going, wait, what's my rule? Hold on. Like, do I take the first guy? Am I supposed to let him go and then take the next guy, right? All of that stuff plays into it. The Rams are incredible at inserting, right? Where Puka Nacua comes in motion, he gets between the guard and the tackle and comes up and maybe blocks the safety that's coming down in the run game. But what they do off of that, too, is they're incredible at inserting and running play-action passes. They have so many cool plays where a receiver runs and it looks just like the run play, and you think, he's going to insert between the guard and the tackle, and what it does is give him a clean release to get out in the field, and he runs a 20-yard corner route or a deep crosser or something like that. And you go, wow, that's great. It kind of cheats him to where he needs to go without having to maybe go by a defensive end and a linebacker who put his hands on him. It's like, no, he's already like halfway into the route, and they're kind of like, wait, is he coming to run block? Oh, crap, he's going by me to run a pass route. And that's another thing that the Rams are just brilliant with when they do that stuff.
Stafford's play-action numbers this season are out of this world. It's no surprise he's averaging he has 35.5% of his dropbacks are in play-action. That's the most in the NFL.
Yeah.
He has the most passing yards off of play-action in the NFL, 984. He's averaging 9 yards per attempt. That's 5th in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's thrown 12 touchdowns off play-action.
Yeah.
He has not thrown an interception off play-action.
Yeah,
they're basically flawless off of play-action.
And they can continue to run. They're patient with the run game. They have a powerful run game. So with that, he's playing MVP type football, right? We know McVay knows how to dial it up. And then with this game specifically, too, like the 49ers pass rush, it's not good with 4. So, like, this is why I think also they said we're going to attack down the field when we drop back off of play action, because if they rush 4, I have all day. And, I mean, go back and watch the film. When they rush 4, it's like Matthew Stafford, he's never touched. You're like, holy crap, he's got forever. And then, of course, when they blitzed, it was like, you guys aren't that good on the back end, and you can't cover Puka. Or it's just like they know how to block it up, the blitz, and now there's a huge, void in the zone. And he hits, Devontae Adams for a 20-yard in-cut. So they really put stress on you that way. And then the other thing they do that's brilliant, and you've heard me say this before, when they want to throw the ball short, they don't throw everybody short. They let everybody clear out. There's still a read to look down the field, but he's been told, hey, if they play this coverage, we're not going to get the downfield. Just keep looking, though, so the defense goes, and then work down to this guy, right? And then it was like, so the 49ers, who have been bombed a few times and all that, they're flying back.
On their heels.
And then they're going, yeah, we're looking down there now, but we kind of know you're flying back now. And now we got a guy underneath running an option route on your linebacker. We're going to throw it 5 yards, and he's going to end up running for another 10 or 15, right? And that's, again, another thing they're very special at.
Do you think this is the most dangerous offense in football right now?
That's a really good question. It's in the combo, okay, I think with the Colts.
Is Seattle in this combo?
Colts, Rams. I think Seattle is in this. Seattle maybe through a little bit more of a basic prism, right? But yes, I'm going to say they're in that. And if Detroit does what we're going to talk about later, okay, I would also put them in that convo. And you know what was another one? I'm going to slightly, again, through the basic prism, there's no denying New England.
Right.
There's no denying. They might not be as sexy with everything they do, but they know how to attack it all still the right way in the same way. So, off of what you're saying there, yeah, I look in the AFC and go, okay, the Colts and New England are in that conversation for most dangerous offense, and then it's Seattle, Detroit, and the Rams. With a possibility, like Chicago's dangerous, but I'm not going to quite put them in that class, with a possibility of Tampa Bay when they get healthy.
That's always the denominator with them is the line, the weapons.
But I think you're maybe right with the Rams. I think if you made me pick one right now, when they're healthy, and you just go, they got everything. They're really well thought out and creative in the run game. Their screens, their wide receiver screens are just insane, right? You can't blitz them. He knows where to go with the ball. They got a great drop-back pass game. They got a great play-action pass game. Yeah, I think you're right about that one. I'll put myself out there on that.
Well, we're going to take a break, and when we're back, we're going to jump into that Lions offense because guess what? They had a lot of motion, too, under Dan Campbell calling plays.
And I know Dan talked today about taking over play calling. Did it feel any different for you out there?
I mean, like the flow and stuff, I feel like it was just, you didn't know what we were going to run.
I think, it's knowing when to go and when to pull and push and pull and push and pull. And to be honest, it's kind of one of his best traits as a leader, and not to, cross leadership and play calling, but knowing kind of when the shot feels right and when the run feels right and when to switch the run and when to do that. Like, it's really hard. And I think it's a lot of feel. It really is just a lot of feel. You can't really teach it. You can't really learn it. And he did a great job with that.
That was Jahmyr Gibbs and Jared Goff on Dan Campbell calling plays. I thought they were pretty blunt.
I agree. Well,
I was expecting I'm not going to say anything.
Right. I don't want to, make my offensive coordinator John Morton mad. Right. You thought you would kind of get that kind of thing, but they basically told you, like, yeah, it was different. This is the beauty of this. It's hard to put it in words. Like, you ask me all the time. We just had a conversation. Why don't they shift in motion more? Why don't they do that stuff? Because the great ones just have the ability to coach it, right? Be creative with it, right? Coach it to a point where, like, hey, you're lined up here. We're going to get a different formation. Don't forget the play, right? So there's all of that. They have the great way of doing that. And then it is the feel. We talk about so many times, right, where, like, they all have the same plays for the most part.
Right.
Other than a few wrinkles every game, it's how you call it. It's the sequencing. It's the feel of the game, how you set it up. And I think that's what you heard, like, Jahmyr Gibbs go, yeah, just the flow felt better. Because I think there was a purposeful attack. I think that's what it is. And you heard Jared Goff kind of say, yeah, you can't really teach it, right? And that's what like Andy Reid and McVay and Shanahan and Ben Johnson and Shane Steichen all have. They got to feel, right, as far as like, hey, I'm doing this, I've done this a few times. They're about to overplay it. Now I'm going to screw them over, right? That's a gift. Just like it's a gift when Jamison Williams runs 4-2 with 4 rockets up his ass. That's a gift. And that's what Dan Campbell has. So, you don't know. And what was the other thing Jahmyr Gibbs? Like, you don't know.
He said he didn't know what we were going to run.
Right, exactly.
Which that's the biggest compliment you can give a play caller.
And that's what it looked like. I mean, you saw my notes. My first thing was first drive feels like more personnel sets, more motion right away. Very apparent, right? Those are the first things I saw.
Want to hear the difference?
Yeah, let's hear it.
So they ran 70 offensive plays in this game. They ran motion on 46 of them. The 8 games before this, their whole season, they were averaging 33 plays with pre-snap motion.
Right.
So 13 more plays on a per-game basis with pre-snap motion.
And the other thing I'd love you to check while I talk and filibuster here a little bit too is the personnel sets. I feel like
this was glaring.
I saw more. I mean, we talked about last week. It's too much 12. Why don't they play 11 more? I think they're letting teams off the hook. That's where I joked with you on yesterday. I was like, I think Dan Campbell's listening to the pod.
Right, Jamison Williams time.
Right, Jamison Williams. We talked about that last week. All of a sudden, they're throwing them damn ball all the time and moving him around and getting them the ball. But yeah, so that to me was another thing that jumped out was I went, ooh, there's shifts in motions, but like, oh, this is 11, this is 21. Oh, they're back to 12. Oh, now it's 20. It's 2 backs, no tight ends, and 3 receivers. Oh, now it's 13. It's 1 back and 3 tight ends. So that to me was another aspect with the shifts and motions where, again, they were not letting the play caller on the defensive side of the ball for the Commanders ever feel like, oh, okay, they're doing this to us over and over and again. And that makes it hard on, of course, the defensive coaches on that side of the ball.
So they were in 11 personnel in this game, 47 of their 70 offensive snaps. That is over 67% of the game. That's high for them.
That's
I'll pull
way
up the
high for
exact
them.
difference,
Yeah, right.
But just like studying the personnel groupings over the years and trends, that's very high for them. They're typically one of the teams that plays the heavy tight end sets as much. It's them and the Ravens every year, and
right.
21 and 13 and 12.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like those sets. You know that. We just talked about the Rams doing it.
Right.
It's cool. But I think their team's made for 11. They're made for 11.
With the personnel.
They have the personnel, and yes, whoever that third receiver is, we know we got 2 that are amazing. But then, okay, yeah, Khalif Raymond, he does this little aspect. Okay, Tesla, he does this little aspect, right? Whatever. And you have your 11 personnel sets to where you go, okay, we're going to put Amon-Ra St. Brown in here now in the slot. So now let's put Jamison Williams and Tesla on the outside. Okay, now on this 11 personnel, let's put Amon-Ra and Jamison Williams outside, and now we can put Khalif Raymond in the slot, right? And we can do different things in our offense that way. And they're too talented. They're too scary, all of them, to keep them off the field so much. And like, they can still run the ball out of those sets.
So that's the key.
Right.
So I brought up how in this game they ran 11 personnel over 67% of the time. The previous games before this, they were only running 11 personnel 52% of the time. The problem they were having is they were only running the ball out of 11 personnel 26% of the time. So when they're in 11 personnel, they're like, well, now we can't run the ball.
Yeah.
So that's what, at least under Morton. And I'll tell you what they ran out of in this game. I know it was significantly higher. So the point is, Dan Campbell's trying to find the button of, well, here's the personnel that they're not ready to game plan for, but we can still fall back on our meat and potatoes.
Exactly.
Which is the run game. And I think that goes back to what Jahmyr Gibbs said. They didn't know when we were going to run.
I think so. I think a little too much with John Morton became, first and second down, 12 personnel, 2 tight ends. And now it's third down, and we're throwing the ball with 11, right? And it's like, wait. So whenever we get 11, it's just like we're throwing it.
That's what teams are seeing.
Exactly.
All the numbers are telling you that's what they're doing.
They changed that. They attacked in this game. This game was come out and, like, they threw the ball first, and they attacked down the field.
So remember I said 26% of the time they were running at 11, which is just never.
Right.
They're just throwing out of 11.
Right.
They ran the ball over 53% of the time out of 11.
Yeah, they got to continue.
They totally changed everything they've been doing under Dan Campbell calling plays.
They're going to scare people with that way because, one, everybody's going to be scared of their passing game. They usually do attack and can throw the ball down the field, and Goff's willing to be aggressive and hang in there and do that. So now you get So what happened in this game is they came out at 11. Washington tried to play kind of aggressive, people around the line of scrimmage and all that. They were like, oh, crap, we're getting gashed in the pass game. They're doing whatever they want. And then it became, all right, we got to put 2 safeties back. And Dan was like, okay, now it's time to run the ball. We got 11 in. Now it's time to run. Oh, boom, watch out. So they set up the run in this game with the pass. And I think the other thing I would say, and again, we talked about the motions and making everybody communicate and do all that stuff, right? And I've watched the Lions on film against the Vikings and the Chiefs, 2 of the last 3 games. And like I said, they weren't doing all this stuff in those games, and you've backed that up.
Right.
But it also just felt like they had a plan of attack. I wrote this at one point, and I know you saw it. I just wrote, feels like they have a plan of attack. There is a purpose rather than let's just call this play. We like this play. As long as we execute it, we should be good, right? Between the run game, the play action, the drop back route combos, it felt like the Lions were like, hey, they're not very sound at the second level. When they get down in there and the safeties get down or whatever, right, they're not very good at passing things off. They're not good at man-to-man.
Right.
We know that already, right? And I felt like there was a concerted effort to kind of attack that part. Like the Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown you saw, right? They kind of had a crosser and somebody else go, and then he split the middle of it, and they were like, oh, yeah, look, you messed it all up. You didn't pass it off right, and now he's wide open running down the middle of the formation for a touchdown, right? That's what it felt like. It was a lot of, hey, Washington's over-aggressive. Like, let's give them a little dingle-dangle over here, and the linebackers are fast flow, and then, boom, we'll just throw it over here, right? There was a lot of play action. We're going to fake the run. We're going to fake a reverse, and then we're going to come out, and boom, and they're all over the place running. So to me, it felt like there was something substantial that they were like, we can attack this. And so that was the big thing. And then also more plays with Jameson Williams being the number 1 read. When they ran play action, it felt like there was more of an emphasis on we're running play action, and Jameson Williams is the number 1 read. And then it also felt like they got in Jared Goff's ear, and they said, listen, we're in 11. We're going to put him over here. If he's man-to-man, just throw him the ball. Just throw him the ball.
Yeah.
And they did that. So that right there made them scary. They are so much more scary when they give the ball to Jameson Williams. It opens up their whole offense. And that's why they have to keep an emphasis on getting him the ball on a regular basis.
He had 4 targets off of play action. He caught all 4 of them for 91 yards.
There you go. Okay.
Basically, is unstoppable off play action.
Yeah.
Because if you lean forward once and keep your head up behind the line of scrimmage, you can't run with him.
I think he's the fastest receiver in football. If it's not, it's him, Rashid Shaheed now.
Right.
Who else am I missing?
Waddle's in the combo.
Waddle's in the combo. I don't think he has the long speed they have, right? But the acceleration off the ball, definitely.
But I mean, the fact, this is a small conversation.
It's a small conversation. I mean, exactly right.
Worthy's a hard one to gauge because he's so fast. But
I know.
How you utilize your speed.
Jamar Chase, of course. We can't forget about him.
Yep. Right. Because he's so good, you almost forget.
I'd put Alec Pierce in that conversation. I know. I would. And maybe your Jackson Smith and Jigba is actually there too,
which is wild.
It is wild. It's hard to deny it. Though.
I think Jameson is faster than all of them.
I think so too. I think
he's on raw speed.
When he takes off in the viewing room on Sundays, people wow.
Right.
There's always people that go, oh my gosh, right? I mean, every week. He caught that one ball up the sideline in this game and ran up the sideline. Yeah. I mean, there was gasps in the room, like, whoa! Like, I mean, he catches people by surprise.
It looks different than everybody else.
They got to keep doing that, right? And then they are another team where they're aggressive, like we talked about with the Rams, play action, aggressive. They tell them, hey, we're going to be aggressive, throw the ball down the field. But they play this coverage, just look down there and then come underneath. So they throw the ball short with still an aggressive frame of mind as far as trying to go down the football field. And that to me is a big thing too. And, I think all in all, those are probably the biggest, factors of the football game. More deception before and after the snap, featuring Jameson Williams, right? And more 11 personnel was definitely a better look for the Detroit Lions offense.
A side question to put a bow on this.
Yeah.
What does a offensive coach do when he's stripped of offensive play calling? What is the week like for him?
Yeah, he's still doing the same stuff.
Right, because you're installing and practicing. So you're just not calling it.
He's just not calling it. He's now maybe where like they're probably all like I don't like Dan when he says like it's collective. A lot of that's the way a lot of good offenses
Right.
work. Like you got your little area, supply me with some information, right? I've seen that there, but dive a little deeper and supply me with information. Give me a few ideas, and then I'll put it part of our game plan. Where they might have been coming to him with that, now they're all working, going into Dan's office, going, "Hey Dan, hey here's this report, here's that report.
Right.
Hey, did you see this here? Hey, when I was breaking this down and doing everything that way." I don't think the approach is any different other than now he's not running the offensive meeting. Dan Campbell is, right? Dan Campbell's going to make a few more calls on things instead of sitting in the meeting room going, "Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, all right, Johnny, I like that. Now he's in the meeting going, "Hey, we're going to do this week.
Yeah.
We're going to do this week, all right? And then everybody disagree, right? You know, I mean, it's just going to be like that. So, yeah, I think that's the big thing right there.
He blows my mind because I think when everybody was introduced to him, you had like one perception of who he is, and everybody kind of just assumed he wasn't really smart. And he's clearly incredibly bright individual.
He is
like
high
brilliant.
IQ,
Yes.
Paul Bunyan. All right,
Right, there you go. And I mean it with no disrespect.
Me
I just
too.
think with the general public, this guy, biting kneecaps,
bench presses and
caffeine,
kneecaps,
and
right.
Yeah.
Got a big jaw and
then you dive into the film and the data, and you're like, this guy is as brilliant as anybody in the league
100%
right now.
He's brilliant, and just the people he hires alone would tell you that. Just that you go, oh, okay, wait. He let Ben Johnson do his thing. He saw it and was brilliant enough to go, "You're awesome. Let me just do your thing," right? Didn't have an ego to go, "All right, I got to call that offense.
yeah.
How dare he's getting so much attention," right? You know, so yes, he's without question one of the best coaches in football. There's no denying. He's got the magic touch in every freaking area right now, and I'm excited to see him. You know, last week was a good week to take over play calling. As we know,
now
right? But
difficulty
now
cranks a couple notches.
He's going to turn this film on this week with Vic Fangio and the Eagles and go, "Whoa, okay, some of those plays that got open last week, they ain't going to work this week. I got to come up with a whole new thing here," and that's what's going to be fun about Sunday night.
It's going to be unbelievable. All right, we're going to take our last break here. When we're back, we're previewing Week 11, a little game of what's more likely.
DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the app and use promo code CORNERBACK when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours.
We looked at the AFC number 1 seed odds yesterday. Let's look at the NFC odds today. Obviously, this group, Chris, much tighter across the board.
God.
You have the Eagles at plus 210. Basically almost a pick with the Rams, who are just plus 220. The Seahawks are plus 350. I know they've been your darling.
Yep.
The Lions right there at plus 550, and then you have the Bucs and the Packers in a little bit of a different stratosphere.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised the Seahawks are that much above
It's the schedule.
Detroit Lions.
I think they have to play the Rams
Right.
twice.
You know my thoughts about the NFC. I'm a little bit like, wow, everybody on this list can win the Super Bowl. The Packers are not playing to that level
Right.
yet, but have the talent and the team to be there. Everybody else can be there. The Buccaneers, when they get healthy, watch out. They're every bit in that class of the teams above them there, right? So that's what I'm pumped about. I'm at the point a little bit, right, where I'm not making a proclamation. I know it's football still. But I'm a little bit like I will be shocked if the NFC doesn't win the Super Bowl this year, right? That's my feeling there. I just would be shocked. The NFC has the complete football teams this year. The AFC has some wow units, but every team I look at, I go, "Oh, I'm not sure about that," or whatever, right? And that to me is just one thing that jumps out about it.
All right, Week 11 preview. What's more likely? The 6-3 Bucs are at the 6-3 Bills. What's more likely, Chris? The Bills' offense has multiple turnovers, or none at all. Buffalo had 3 last week after just 6 in their first 8 games. The Bucs have 13 takeaways. That's top 10 in the NFL.
I know. Yeah, the Bucs, they will create and do some things that stress you out, and of course they got playmakers. They do have that on both sides of the ball. Yeah, you know what, though? After a game like that with Buffalo, I think they're too smart of a team, right? I could see maybe 1 turnover, but multiple, no, not multiple. I don't. Those turnovers last week were big. I mean, again, they were being controlled in the game. It was work for them to get down the field. But James Cook, right, he fumbles. You go, okay, wait, they're about to get into this. Josh Allen has the amazing drive where he throws the interception, right? You go, oh, they're about to get into this. And I think he was trying to throw the guy behind him. I think he like misjudged his throw.
Okay.
Right? It was weird. And then even with the quarterback sneak fumble, you're like, yeah, they're losing, but if they score here, it's going to get a little interesting. Right? I think they'll get back to their P's and Q's and take care of the ball.
I'm with you as well. I'd go 0 here. It just felt like the ultimate one step forward, 2 steps back game for them.
Right.
And a clean week just kind of gets that.
Yeah,
out of
clean
your
week,
system.
motivation, another good team
right.
coming to town where you're going, holy crap, all of that. Yeah, I think they'll be ready to go.
The 7-3 Chargers are at the 5-4 Jaguars. What's more likely? Justin Herbert has 300 passing yards or 2+ interceptions. He's second in passing yards, but he's tied for third in interceptions this season. Jacksonville allows the 5th most passing yards a game, but they have the 2nd most interceptions. So this is a good one.
It is
right
a good
here.
one. I mean, that's like Jacksonville's defense is not great, but they create plays every game. You can get big plays on them too. And Justin Herbert, yeah, he's throwing interceptions because he's, as we talked about on Monday, he's being pressured and hit at a way greater extent than any other quarterback in football. And they don't have a great run game, right? So all of that. I'm going to say, though, the 300+ pass yards
I'm with
here.
you again.
Yeah, I worry about Jacksonville and the state of their football team right now. They look like they're kind of hit that midseason lull. People have figured them out a little bit. They're pressing. There's tension there, all of that. I say the Chargers, yeah, and Justin Herbert have 300+ pass yards.
I know they have pass pro problems right now, but I think he carves them up.
I would expect that too. I do. I mean, as long as he has enough time there. And then the great thing about the Chargers is they never let you off the hook with the run game. They're very good. Even when they don't run it good, the attempts are still there. And that, of course, helps them with the pass game.
The 7-2 Seahawks are at the 7-2 Rams. Unbelievable matchup here. What's more likely? Jackson Smith-Njigba has 150+ receiving yards, or Puka Nacua does. JSN's averaging 115.7 receiving yards a game. That's first in the NFL. Puka is second with 96.9. Seattle has allowed one wide receiver to go for 150+. That was Emeka Egbuka. The Rams have allowed none above 109. That was A.J. Brown. I'm actually going to go with Puka in this one, Chris, just because I think the Rams will need it from him in this game. And you have a beat-up Devontae as well.
Hear it. There's a part of me that wants to go, what about Rashid Shaheed?
Yeah,
Can we pick him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Okay, I like you. You go with him. You go with it. I'm going to go with Jackson Smith-Njigba. I don't feel good about either one.
I mean, it's a hard feat to pull off.
That's a whole lot of damn yards right there. With two teams that can play some defense, I'm only taking Jackson Smith-Njigba because they're going to throw the ball down the field to him, right? Puka's has to come a few different ways. Not that they don't throw the ball down the field with him, but it's like also it's screens awesome. Like he scored that 20-yard touchdown last year. Screens on the outside, a lot of 10s and 15s and amazing ones at that. But I do feel like JSN, there's like they have 10 plays every game where they're like, we're calling this to take a shot down the field. Bombs away, right. So that'll be a good one there. I'll bet you a Coca-Cola.
Okay, I like it. I bet you a Coke. 5-4 Chiefs are at Denver. This is a massive game, implications-wise. Maybe not as much for the Broncos, who are 8-2, but you know damn well they don't want to lose to the Chiefs.
Right.
What's more likely, the Broncos sack Patrick Mahomes 4+ times, or 2 or fewer times? Denver's averaging over 4 sacks a game.
Yeah.
That second is Detroit at 3.5. Mahomes has been sacked 17 times in 9 games. That's the 10th lowest sack rate in the NFL.
I'm oddly enough, I mean, this is a big game, like you said. It really
Chiefs
is.
playoffs are on the
Broncos
line.
win this game, and it's like, man, the Chiefs are going to have a horseshoe and a shamrock up their ass to come back. I mean, with the rest of their schedule being still pretty tough and all that. I'm going to go with 4+ times here.
Wow.
I am. I'm going to go with, oh, no, I'm fooled. I got to buy some time. Oh, Nick Bonito got me. Oh, no one's covered. I got a coverage sack. I held the ball like it did in Buffalo a little bit. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
Again, it's a good one by Pete. It's a tough one here. But I'm going to play that angle here that the Broncos are ready for the Chiefs' attack, and they at least confuse them a little bit a few times.
I'm going to go 2 or fewer. This is really hard.
All right.
It's time for Mahomes to put on the cape and have one of his best games.
I know.
And when I have to make the choice, I side with him. I ride into battle with Patrick Mahomes. Very brave of me.
I hear you.
Yeah, so
if you're going to side with one guy, he's a good guy to side with.
But
100%.
Nick Bonito is not a bad choice on the other side of it as well.
All right, we'll double down, and I'll bet another Coca-Cola for you there.
Sunday Night Football, the 6-3 Lions are at Philadelphia, who is 7-2. You'll be on site for this one, Chris. Jahmyr Gibbs has a 40+ yard run, or Saquon Barkley does. Gibbs has 3 runs of 40-plus yards this season. That's tied for the second most in the NFL. Barkley had 7 last season.
I know.
But just 1 this season.
Yeah, I feel like I wanna favor Jahmyr Gibbs in this one. I do. I guess I believe in their run game more.
Especially
right?
after the
and
exercise we
and
just
what
did.
they do on offense and all of that. And like it's weird because Philadelphia, it's a lot to get them to play run defense and be like, we're going to crowd the line of scrimmage. They have such great faith in their front that, like, it's hard to get them out of 2 safety defenses, some sort of frame of it, right? Quarter, half, whatever, 2, whatever there, where it's like they're stubborn with it. But at the same time, there's the reversal of that where Detroit will put people at the line of scrimmage. And as you know, if you just get by that first wave of people, it's like, Saquon could go for 60.
Right.
But I'm going to go with the team that I just believe that runs the ball better here. And, the other thing Detroit does is they're going to give the Eagles more to think about schematically on the defensive side of the ball, right, than the vice versa of the Eagles are not going to give the Lions defense a whole lot. We know that. That's one of the things with the Eagles, right? I mean, they're good enough to be simple and still win the football game, but I don't think the Lions are going to come into the game going, oh, no, the way they package their plays and their scheme is so creative. It's a little bit more of like, hey, I just hope we don't fucking get blown off the ball by these big guys up front. Can we handle that, right? And then we can go from there. That's really where it has to go. But I'll go Jahmyr Gibbs. What are you going to do?
I think I have to. Outside of Devon A. Chan, I don't think there's a better breakaway threat. Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, it's those
Gibbs.
It's those 3.
I'd bet on that.
Yeah.
I do wonder if Barkley got one last night without the Micah Parsons trip.
Oh,
you remember that play?
I do.
I don't know how they missed it. I saw it on the broadcast. I was like, did he just stick his leg out?
I when it first happened, I was like, man, how did he go down?
It was
I thought he almost tripped over his own feet.
Right,
I was like,
it was
what
so
happened there? It
unnatural.
looked like he was flying through the hole, right? And that was shocking that they missed that.
Yeah.
That really was.
I don't know if
but
he
you're
gets
right.
40
that
on
might
it,
have been close, though.
but
You're
he
right.
would have had a big one.
You're right.
So I'm with
You're
you.
right.
I'll go with Gibbs, and that's it for us for the week.
All right, man. Way to go, dude.
Great week.
You're the man.
Yeah, this
Hope
was a
everybody
great show.
enjoyed it. Hope everybody enjoyed YouTube Live on Monday and Tuesday. You always find us there, right? Monday at 10 a.m., Tuesdays at 2 p.m., Wednesday is a tape pod that you just watched. Thursday, it's Florio and me, Week 11 picks. That's where we'll be. Come check us out tomorrow, all right? Everybody be good out there. Stay good. Enjoy Thursday Night Football. Enjoy the weekend of football. You know where to find us. Subscribe, rate, review. Connor Rogers and I will see you next time. Peace out. Yo. Thanks for watching, homies. We are now in the NFL season here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
Hit subscribe to get our weekly picks, game recaps, film deep dives, and much, much more.
Thanks again for watching. Subscribe, rate, review. Peace out. You know where to find us.